Okay.
And now I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. All right, let's minimize that. There we go. All right. Let me maximize that. All right, guys. Okay. So thanks for coming, Chris.
No problem, Carrie.
So this is, I'm excited, our first team call. And kind of what I wanted to do for our team calls, because we have so many new coaches on it, is to really like start basic. I know when I first started coaching, so much of what there's so many like calls out there and training videos and whatever that you can get on that are wonderful and they're inspiring, but some of them aren't extremely practical. I feel like as far as like how to, they're more what to do, generally this is what you should do, this is how you should feel, and the psychology behind it and motivating you and getting you all jazzed up. But I kind of struggled a little bit to find like practical information. So I don't know, not struggle, that's the wrong word. But I guess through my detective work of when I was a new coach, I sort of compiled things that I got from different sources. I saw this video on, like certain scripts for this and certain video on for certain scripts for that. And I kind of like compiled them all into one document. And so one of the documents that I actually have, it's not this that's on the screen. This one is from the Beachbody training that's in the back office. So we're going to go through this first, but then what I'm going to share with you is actually my Word document that I have that I set up just like this, but that is much more extensive with sample scripts for each step of the process that I sort of just picked up over time and just created one central document. And so it's kind of something that could be helpful for you to use, because sometimes, if this doesn't really sound like you, or maybe you'll read through the scripts that I've got and say, hey, that really kind of works for me. Or if, every person that you're going to come into contact with, every prospect is different and, requires an individualized approach. So whereas this has a sample script, you can't really use it textbook because every single person is different. So, so what I kind of compiled was, a whole bunch of top different, scripts that maybe Anita Myron used, or Melanie Mitro, or Lindsay Matway, or whoever that I've sort of picked up. So what I wanted to go through tonight was the customer 5-step invitation process. And the reason why I wanted to go through it is because I sort of struggle with this at the beginning, and it's because we're so excited and we're so anxious to, convert them into customers and get them going that we forget to slow down, because if we rush, then it gets really overwhelming for them and they're going to want to back off. So this 5-step process, which again, it's in the back office. If you go to your back office and the news and training, and then the training drop-down menu, if you click on that, and then the next screen on the left-hand column is the training library. And then it has a whole spreadsheet of all training documents that are in there. And if you go down to inviting, that's where this document is. So I just literally downloaded it off our website to show you. And then, so we're going to go through it. It's important to note, before you even start this 5-step process, it's important to form a relationship with this person. You don't want to cold call and just randomly, find one of your friends on Facebook and say, hey, do you want to join my challenge group? That's going to come off really strange and creepy, because it is, right? The whole purpose of what we do is not to sell stuff. It's to solve problems, right? It's to give people solutions to issues that they're having and things that they want to change in their life. And so in order to do that, it's so important to really get to know them on a sort of a personal level. So that's what this invitation process allows you to do. There's a lot of questions, right? It's easy to rush through and skip a lot of these steps, because it can be a lot of back and forth between you and them, and that can take time. And sometimes you're, anxious to get your success club points and you want to just sort of close the deal, and you forget, these. Sometimes it happens very quickly with somebody and sometimes it's drawn out. So regardless though, it's important to go through the process because the process is geared for you as the coach to sort of stay in control of the conversation and always ask questions. One tip that I've learned, there's a great, this is just sort of a tangent, there's a really great personal development book called GoPro by Eric Worrell. And I got the audio and listened to it in my car. And it's really amazing. He's and it's very, again, a lot of practical information. But one of the things that I picked up from that was you never want to send a message to someone and not end in a question, right? Because then it gives them a reason to answer you back. You never just want to send a message and leave it unless there's a question in it that they have to answer. It gives them a reason to message you back so the conversation can continue. So this process really lends a lot of it is asking questions. So let's go through it. So before you start this, it's important to, like I said, form a relationship with them. And I'm sure you've heard of forming someone, right? It means you just get to know them. You talk about their family, then you can ask them about their job, what they like, what they don't like. Then R is, so F is family, O is occupation, R is recreation, which is kind of what do they like to do for fun? Are they active? Do they like to hike, bike, run? What kind of stuff do they like to do with themselves or with their families? And then M is the message. So usually that comes after multiple back and forth, seeing what their any issues they're having in their job. Are they unsatisfied because they work long hours or don't have enough time with their kids or, really want to be home with their kids more? And if they are active in their lifestyle, then that's a great thing too. And about their family, if they've got 6 kids and can't ever get out to go to a gym or whatever the message. So by then, that's when you know enough about them that you can say, hey, I've got something that might really help you out. And that's where the message comes in, and that's where this process starts. So you always want to form someone first. And you can, again, go on YouTube and, Google or look up forming, Beachbody forming. And there's a lot of videos, and it's also in our back office as well. So, but it's pretty much easy. It's pretty much just getting to know them, right? But it kind of follows a little bit of a sequence. So, so I'm going to scroll down here. This is just some stuff. So this is the actual document that's in our back office. So here's kind of where it starts. Now, this is the summary here. So it says step 1 is to invite. We know that's one of our vital behaviors. Yes, is to invite to our challenge groups and invite to the coach opportunity. This in particular is really for inviting customers into challenge groups, not so much the coach opportunity. So you basically invite them to a challenge group. And then in between step 1 and step 2 is something called a bridge. And this is really important because this is where again, you're asking them almost permission for you to proceed to the next step. So it's like, hey, I'm running a challenge group. Are you interested? And then if they say yes, what you'll say in this bridge is, do you mind if, let's get to know you better. Can we go through a series of questions just to make sure this is right for you? And if they say yes, then you go on to step 2, which is the interview. And this is the greatest part because this is really when you get to know them and their goals. So this is pretty much ask them. I sort of have like 4 or 5 questions I ask. I say, what are your goals? What are your interests? As far as, do you like kickboxing? Do you like yoga? Do you like walking? Do you like running? Do you like weights or whatever, what their interests are? And then how much time do they have in a day to dedicate to exercise, right? Because we know we have programs of all different lengths. And what their current level of fitness is. So beginner, intermediate, or advanced, right? Because we've got stuff that spans the whole gamut. So that's sort of the questions that I ask during that. And once they answer you, then you go to the bridge between step 2 and step 3. So you're going to say, hey, do you mind if I send you a video? Now, one thing, again, that this GoPro that I mentioned talks about is take some of the burden off of yourself and use third-party tools. Use the tools that Beachbody has given us in the back office. if you go to your back office, the main page in your Coach Online office, there's this thing in the middle that has your Success Club qualifications. Just to the right of that has videos, and that has English, Spanish. Click English, and then that'll bring you to a page that has tons of videos on all of our products. So challenge packs, called Shakeology. It has the supplements. It has success stories from customers and coaches. There's a gazillion videos on there. They're all under 5 minutes. I wouldn't say all. The vast 95% of them are under 5 minutes. And find the one that you think is most appropriate for the person you're talking to. And when you're bridging, say, hey, do you mind if I send you a video? Would you have time to watch a 3-minute video on this? I really think this would help you. And then when they say yes, step 3 then is to send the video. So this one says send a video explaining more about challenge groups. There is a video in the back office about a challenge group in particular, not about any of the programs, but what a challenge group actually is. So you can send that, and then maybe in addition to that, hey, here's a program that I think is great for you. Then always, when you send that video, always ask, when can I follow up with you, right? Because then it puts the responsibility on them. Don't just send it. Say, when do you want me to follow up with you when you will have watched that video for sure, right? This is, again, another thing from Eric World from the GoPro. Make sure you get a time commitment from them as to when you can follow up with them. Then whatever tracking system you use, track it, put that date in there so that you know when to follow up with them. And then you'll follow up in step 4, right, to see what they liked about it. And when you follow up with them, it's important to say, not, did you like it, right? You want to say, what did you like most about it? Because then you're most likely going to get a positive response, right? You don't want to, sure, somebody could have a negative response to it, but you want to sort of guide them to what they liked most about it so that you have, again, more ammo for your conversation. And then you'll, again, say, like the video and confirm their interest in joining. And then step 5 is to help them enroll. So if that makes any sense, I know that was kind of quick, but we're going to scroll down. That's the summary. Now we're going to scroll down, and in the back office here has sample scripts that you can use, okay, for each of these steps. So again, the invite. There are all sorts of invites, and it depends on what your comfort level is and how direct or indirect you like to be. So this one that's here is a little indirect. It says, I don't know if this would interest you, but hoping you can help me looking for 5 new people. And I was wondering if you know anyone that might be interested. Like, you're not actually asking them, you're saying, hey, do you know anyone else that might be interested? So that's an example. Again, after we go through this, I'm going to flip over to my Word document that has, I did take the scripts that are on here, so they are on there. And just so you know, this Word document is uploaded into our team page, okay? It's titled Invite to CG, Invite to Challenge Group is the title of that Word document that's uploaded in our team page. So these scripts are all in there with, again, all the additional stuff I added. So you just kind of, however you feel comfortable, you definitely want to make it your own. So I never I do copy and paste, but never just copy paste, right? And Facebook doesn't like it when you do that either. So you definitely want to make it your own. I don't want to first say shoot the shit for a little bit, but say, just chat for a sentence or two, So if they say yes, then again, you're going to bridge, right? So I won't say most, but much of the time, they're going to ask you how much it costs, right? That's just kind of one of the first questions you're ever going to get. So it's important not to bring up price immediately, because really you don't know, right? Everything we have is different. It's a different price. So you really don't know. And so when you see option 1, if they ask about price first, you're going to say, that depends on what you want and you need. So you're right, because everything is a different price point. So how about I ask you a few questions? It's not like you're deferring the question. You actually truly can't answer it yet. You need to know what they need. So, and if they don't ask about price, then just say, hey, awesome, I'm glad you're interested. Let's find out if this is right for you, get to know more about you, and ask. And then you'll go into step 3, which is to ask all the questions. So we scroll down to step 3, or excuse me, step 2, sorry. This is the interview. I hate how they call it that. It seems so formal. But this is a whole bunch of sample questions. You know, you pick and choose whatever applies to the person you're talking to. You know, if they have exercised before, what didn't work for you in the past? Why, you know, did you have any success with that program? If not, why not? Why didn't you stick to it? All those different things. What do you do for exercise? Do you think you could benefit from being a part of the group? And again, I always ask what their interest level is, how much time they have, what else, what their current level of fitness is, what their, and if they've ever, you know, tried a Beachbody program before or even heard of it to begin with, you know. But asking these questions is really important. And here, go back and forth as many times as you need to truly understand. This process can take a while. Don't rush it, okay? Because then you're gonna, this is when you really, really get to know them. This is the important part. This is when you really form your relationship. And the answers that you give to this question is really what sort of builds that person's trust in you as somebody who can really help them. So spend some time on this. Don't rush through it. I know it's hard sometimes, but try not to rush. Okay, so after you've asked them all those questions, you're gonna then again say, hey, I still don't know, I'm still not sure, you know, because you want to make sure that you're sort of not being pushy, not saying, this is awesome, I know this is gonna work, this is, you know, perfect for you. And, you know, just say, hey, let's see what you think. Let's make sure that this is right for you, because you always want to give them a door out, so to speak, or else they're always going to be looking for the door out. So you never want to pressure, you know, just say, hey, let's just make sure that you're not pressuring them into anything. So do you mind if I send you a short video on this? Because this is what I've got in mind for you based on everything we've talked about that I think would give you your best results possible. And that's sort of the bridge. And make sure that you get a confirmation that, yeah, it's okay for you to send me the video before you send it. Don't just say, hey, I'm going to send you this, and then, you know, send it over, because chances are they're not going to watch it, you know. So then the third step is to send the video. What I always say when I send these videos is, because, you know, they're a little promo-y, so to speak. They're promotional videos. So they're marketing videos. So they come off a little like salesy, I guess. I don't know if they do, but they're truthful. I mean, they state the truth, you know? So I always put in there like, hey, it's a little promo-y, so get past that. You know, I kind of think that's a little cheesy too, but if you can get past that, what they're saying is so true. And it really, you know, get past that part, because the rest of it is awesome, you know. Just to kind of put a little disclaimer that I'm not really that salesy. So again, you see in the tips, it says always repeat back the time they committed to watching the videos. This is probably from that GoPro, you know, always get a time so that you know when to follow up with them, because then it's sort of, the onus is on them if they don't. It's not like you're just randomly following up and they think you're being annoying or being a nudge because you won't leave them alone. It's, hey, you said 2 days from now you'd have watched it, so I'm following up with you now just because this is the time you said. If you followed up with them and they still haven't watched it, ask again. When do you want me to follow up with you again? You know, obviously life happens, right? And if people don't watch it, then they don't. You can't force it, right? So, but just try to get a follow-up time when you can check in with them again. So after you have sent the video, then you go down to step 4. So once they've watched it, and, you know, you can actually say, hey, what did you like best about it? So you see that. What did you like about the video? Did you come to a better understanding of how our challenge group works? Do you see how it can help answer your questions? Do you see how it can benefit you? Does it look like something you'd be willing to invest in? So you're putting things out there that, again, are sort of lending themselves towards positive answers. What did you like best? Do you see how this could benefit you? Things like that. And then are you willing to invest in it? So like, hey, this is an investment. So when it does come down, when price does come up, because obviously it will, it's not like you went through all this thinking that they were going to get it for free, because it is an investment. And so in this question, it sort of brings that up very gently. Are you willing to invest in it? Because you want them to know that they are, so much of what we do in health and in fitness is, and I feel like in therapy too, this is like a big thing, is getting people to take ownership of their own journey. Like as a therapist, physical therapist, people think I just come and do my session with him, and then when I'm not there, they're like off the hook totally. And they have no sense of responsibility, no sense of ownership. It's all on me. And I find that very frustrating, and I try very hard to create a sense of responsibility in my patients. And same thing here. You want them to get the understanding that they are an active participant in this. It's, this is something they've got to do for themselves. We're sort of the conduit, but they've got to do this for themselves. We can't do it for them. We're their cheerleader. We're their mentor. We are their, their coach, really. But it's something that they still have to take active. It's an active process, not passive. So that sort of lends that to that. So explain the deal down here. Okay. Then this is where you sort of narrowed it down. When they answer you, is this something you'd like to invest in? It sounds like you're ready, right? So you explain the challenge pack. Usually you've sent the video by now, so they kind of already know, but I already reiterate it. And this is where you'll bring in the price. Okay. So by now they should already be psyched about it. So the prices I think are pretty amazing, especially with this Beachbody On Demand. I think that is just, when I first heard of Beachbody On Demand, I couldn't believe how cheap it was. And now they keep adding all this stuff and it's still that cheap. So it's amazing.
Well, yeah, but if you go on their website and go to enroll free, it says that for Beachbody On Demand, it's $14.99 a month.
Oh, you're kidding. Instead of $12.90, it used to be $12.99 a month. So maybe
then I enrolled today and it's only $8 something a month.
Because you're a coach, so you get a discount. Yeah, that's why it's that. But my understanding was it's like $39 a quarter. So
it's $38.87 right now.
Yeah, $38.87 a quarter.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So that's, it's like give it away, right?
Right. I mean, you think about it, it's $40 every 3 months you're paying. You pay more than that for half a month's gym membership.
Oh, absolutely. Or, and get onto that, a personal trainer. And, it's ridiculous how inexpensive it is. So anyway, and this is where you also want to make sure that you let them know about the Shakeology being a recurring order. That's definitely something that I know coaches, and I've heard some coaches say, they didn't tell them about that at first because they're scared it would scare them off. But then come month 2, they're calling them and saying, what is this charge I got? And, so you definitely want to make sure that you let them know about that, and just to make sure that they're okay with that. And also, the Beachbody On Demand, if they get that Beachbody on the Club and Shakeology Challenge Pack, that the On Demand will renew after 90 days, not after 30 days, but after 90 days it'll renew.
Right.
Okay. So step 5 then is just to help them enroll. So there are so many tools to use. There's coachingcodes.com. There's, I think FitSimple. There is the easiest way I have found is to get them to send you their email address and get their whatever flavor of Shakeology they want. So tell them the flavors of Shakeology, and you do it for them through the Beachbody Coach, the Beachbody Coach app, right? And then they get sent an email and it's done, right? They just enter their payment information and it's done. Because I've had so many issues before that app was available. And I would send them a link, they'd click and they'd mess up, they'd screw it up somehow. And then I'm on the phone with customer coach relations, like for hours trying to rectify it. So definitely use that app. It takes all the guesswork out of it.
That was me.
Yeah, I know, right? It was. You weren't the only one, believe me. So that's pretty much, here we go. these are all the things that I just mentioned. So the app, using the, oh, this is how to get to, they also have a links page in the back office now. That's new. That wasn't always there. It was always like a separate website, the coachingcodes.com website. But I would just say use the app. All right, so that's it for that. Does that make any sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so now here's situation scripts. I'm not going to go through all these. What I want to do now, because I want to kind of make this short, I'll just show you this real quick, because like I said, this is in the back office, excuse me, not the back office, it's on our team page. Okay, so you can take a look at this at your leisure and use it as freely as you want. So what I've done is, okay, if you come down here, it's kind of step 2, bullet point 2 is where my step 1 starts. What I always do up top, it says connect my hey girl, which is basically when I start new conversations with somebody. That's usually how I do it, whether it's, you know, I'm wishing them happy birthday, anniversary, or if they like my page, my Facebook like page, I will send them a thank you and, you know, hope you get stuff out of it. Or if they like my health and nutrition post on Facebook, I'll send them a thank you and say, hey, if there's anything else I can do. Or the one I most often use is letter D. It's like, I'm just saying, hey, they're most like in my town. And I'm like, hey, so we have a lot of common friends. Thought I'd introduce myself. My kids, how old are your kids? Mine are, we go to the school. And what about you? And that's it, you know? And it's as simple as that. And then go back and forth. And then at one point I'll say, yeah, so what do you do? You know, like, and that's it. And that's how we start forming. And then the conversation just goes from there until we get to step 1. And again, it says up here, invite to challenge group script cold call. It's really not a cold call because I've formed them already. But the one that was on the PDF that I just went through is letter B. So I don't know if this is for you or not. So I just copied and pasted it to this document, and then, you know, made some of my own. Like C is my own, but it's really long, but it has my story in it. You know, like it's gotten me in the best shape of my life, and I'm pushing 40, you know, with my kids, that kind of thing. So, you know, if you want to write your own that you can copy and paste a little bit, you can do that. My letter C is really long, and I say to keep it short, and this does not keep it short, so I don't use it that often. But again, I rarely just take these verbatim, but I use like the skeleton of them, you know, so it cuts down on the amount of typing. It's more time efficient. So you can just read through them. And if you want to, again, change it to make it your own, you can probably download this and save it to your own desktop and, you know, kind of change it to fit you. And again, this is a different font because I just cut and pasted. These are just examples of things I've gotten from other people. Now, the situation will happen where you may get no response, right? You invite and then it's crickets. Does that happen? It's happened to me a gazillion times. So I send usually one of these 2. Like, I won't repeat myself because I sound like a broken record enough at home. What are your thoughts? Would love to answer any questions you have, you know, or I'm moving forward with it. I don't want you to miss out. Do you want to do it, or you want to wait till the next one? Again, sort of giving them an either or, not a yes or no, right? So to kind of leading questions a little bit. And then here we're going to go. If they ask for more info, I do use this quote a lot because this section a lot, because they're going to say, well, what's it all about? And I say, well, here's what I can offer you. And then I describe the challenge group. You can wait and send it in the video if you want, the challenge group video, but I sort of send this brief thing in text sometimes. That's just sort of what I've done. And then step number 3, you know, step 1 to 2, preparing them for your questions. And again, some of these are taken from that PDF, some I wrote. And then step 2, the interview, some from that PDF, some I added. So I won't make you read all this now because it's way too much, but I'm just kind of going through so you know that it's there. Bridge step 2 to 3, thank you for trusting me. So that's something I used a lot because It's true. Like when people give you their story, it's personal, you know, it's, it's hard for them. I've had people share some pretty crazy stuff with me that I'm like, wow, thank you for sharing that with me. I very much appreciate your trust. And so that's a big thing that I think is a really great thing to say, is to thank them for sharing their goals and their journeys and trusting you with that information. And then send the videos. Here's the link. This one right here, that is for the challenge group, I think. Yeah. That's just for like, hey, here's what a challenge group is. That's that link right there. So you can just take it off of there. And I didn't put all the other specific, you know, product like challenge packs in there because that would have been way too long. But if you want to send like 2 links, or send this one and hey, the PIO challenge pack, or the, you know, Max 30 challenge pack, or whatever is for them, plus this one, because it gets them, this is what it's all about, and then this is what you would do specifically. So I put that in there because this one is good to send to everybody. And then you can pick and choose the other ones. And then it says here, the next videos are going to be for a particular workout program that I think is perfect for you, yada, yada. So let them watch it, ask for follow-up, and then follow up and confirm their interest. What did you like about it? Did you come to better standing? Again, I copied and pasted from that other. It sounds like something you're ready. So here's how it works. And then this is when you go into the cost. And then this is something I picked up from, I think it was Anita Myron, that, and I added it in here because it meshes very well with this. So this is when you're talking about the actual cost, and, you know, Shakeology is expensive. We know that, right? So this is sort of breaks it down for them and says, you know, you're replacing a meal. So it kind of comes out, it doesn't come out even, but you're certainly not spending as much as you think you are because it is a meal replacement. So this sort of kind of puts that in there. And again, if no response, and then enrollment. Okay. So this is, again, I'm so excited. There's 2 different, now this is something you should always, 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 always say. There are 2 options for enrollment. I say this to every single person. One is to sign up with a challenge pack, just like you would as a regular customer. And the second is to do it as a coach. And this explains to them what being a discount coach is. Okay. It's the same. And it explains everything to them about what being a discount coach is. So this is how you can start to add coaches for you, because really it is, even if it's just for the discount, this is something that will help them, right? I mean, it does save them money. So definitely, and most of my people will say, oh yeah, well, I don't want to coach, but here, you know, I definitely want to save some money. So sure. And so they'll choose option 2. The trick with this is, if you really want to get people to build their business, this is not going to do it, because they're going to lead in thinking that, you know, I'm just in for the discount, but then they might get hooked on the whole Beachbody thing and then want to coach, you know, and so, which has happened, you know. So definitely, I would definitely say this. And then if they say no, they want to do a customer, just say that's fine. I'm just trying to save you money, you know, and sort of, it's kind of coaxing a little bit, but in a very kind way. And so let's go down. So there's some other things in here that, that are on here. This is sort of a response to an objection. This is some extra stuff you can breeze through if you want to. Response to coach inquiries if somebody wants to become a coach. This is totally secondary to what we were talking about, but just so you know, it's on there. You can read through it if you want. Okay. But really, the heart of it is up to step 5, which is bullet point 8. So, so that's it. So I hope that was kind of helpful, and at least gives you like some concrete information on how to do it, how to talk to people, how to invite, you know, sort of some salesy sort of tactics to be non-pushy, make it all about them, and hopefully increase your chances. So, so that's about it. So I will stop sharing my screen. All right. Do you have any questions about it?
No, I think that helps me. That helped me out, because I got an old friend who IM'd me out of nowhere because of seeing my posts on my Facebook page.
You've been getting a lot of response to those posts. It's awesome.
Right. And so I was like, hey, how's it going? How's the family? We started like that personalization.
Yeah.
Getting back to know him. Because I haven't seen him or talked to him in years.
Right.
And then he started asking me questions about Beachbody. And I said, so what are you interested in, what kind of workouts have you done in the past? Like I started asking some of that. And then he's like, well, I only have time on the weekends if I want to go to the gym. And I said, well, with Beachbody, you only really need like up to 25, 30 minutes most,
Max.
depending on which workout you get. And that's not a whole lot of time out of your day.
And that includes getting changed and taking a shower afterwards.
Right, right. Yeah. So, so then he's like, oh, I'll look at, I'll go on the Beachbody webpage and I'll look around. I'm like, well, let me know what you're interested in, or, stuff like that. And he never got back to me.
See, because if he goes onto the website,
right.
Because what they're going to do is go on to the beachbody.com website. And I've had that happen. And then you won't get credit for anything. So if anything, send them to your personal website.
Oh, no, I did. I sent him my link.
Oh,
I sent him my link.
Yeah.
And then I haven't heard from him, and it's been a week. So
I
just
follow up with him and just say, did anything catch your eye?
Right.
And based on what your conversations were with him, say, what do you think? If he's so limited in time, 225, 20-minute, 22-minute hardcore. Of course, and that's your experience, so you know that well. So you're like too well, right?
Yeah.
So I would definitely ask him, say, hey, do you mind if I send you this? Because I think this would be really awesome for you. And tell him that you've been doing it, what your, brief thing
right.
done, and wait for him to get back. Yeah, I would definitely follow up.
Yeah, and then I had a girl at work start asking me questions because like I was drinking my Shakeology.
Yeah.
In my shaker, and she's like, "What's that?" And I started explaining Shakeology and then Beachbody workouts to her, and she seemed very interested. The hardest thing is I can't, I got to be careful with that work.
Yeah.
Trying to do that stuff. So I just explained it to her and told her what I've been doing and what the results I've seen and everything else. And she's like, man, that's amazing. So then she may be interested. I'm sure one day she might just ask me more about it, but I really can't, at my job go, hey,
Are you able to connect with her outside of work somehow? Like friend her on Facebook? Does she have a Facebook page profile?
I think she does. I'll have to look.
If you
she might
for her and send her a friend request, and then that's how you connect with people, is to send a friend request. And it's not like you're sending it's not out of nowhere. Like you've already had a conversation with her about it, and then you could just say, hey, I just wanted to follow up. Do you want to learn more about it? I'd be happy to share it with you, that kind of thing. So you do have to kind of be a little bold maybe, but if it's done, you don't want to do it in the work setting. You know what I mean? Because I agree. You have to be careful with that.
I'm just very careful about friending people I work with.
No,
especially in my position, it's tough because there's been incidents where the command has been friends with subordinates, and then stuff happens on Facebook, and then so I try to keep myself out of their Facebook page, but at the same point, I mean, I don't think she would ever do anything stupid on there. So
right, no, that's true. I agree.
Maybe it's an idea, but
if there's an email or something, it doesn't have to be.
Right.
Facebook is just a way. I mean, it can definitely be in other avenues. That just is sort of an easier way.
Right.
But maybe email or anything like that. But I think definitely if this makes you more comfortable, sort of reaching out and making yourself muscling you up a little bit, confident, like to go for it, then then that would be awesome. So all right, well, I will so go check that out. You can again download it from the team page, and hope it helped, Chris.
I'm gonna start getting to it here next couple of days.
Awesome power hour, right?
Power hour. I gotta find that power hour.
Oh, my alarm is gonna go early tomorrow morning for that power hour. It's worth it.
Maybe on the weekends for me, but I'm usually at work during your power hour.
Exactly, you're already there. Oh my God. Sometimes you respond me back. I'm like, what are you doing up?
Yep. Yeah.
Your 6-hour time difference. You're up.
Yeah. I'm already up and at work.
Exactly. Okay. Well, I think this thing is about to cut us off because we're going to run out of time, but it was good seeing you.
Same here, Carrie.
All right. Aloha.
Aloha.
Bye.
Bye.